This is contrary to what we heard just 20 minutes ago, where it appeared a compromise had been reached, that as long as things remain peaceful, demonstrators would not be arrested. Things are changing quickly.
It looks like they're pushing us further out. They want us to go into the street. Protesters have been pushed into the street. Sheriff's Department is out here.
That is the organizer that's being arrested.
They're rolling out with, the organizer is getting arrested. We are walking, we're moving.
We're going to stay with your shot, Jennifer. We're going to let you get to safety. You do not need to be in harm's way. But this is an intense moment.
You can see all these cars. These sheriff's officers just pulled up.
A woman has been tossed to the ground. Law enforcement, a deputy was thrown to the ground. You see canine units are out there. More people on the ground. This is on 10th Street in the heart of downtown Lincoln right now. We are now 45 minutes past the curfew. Just 20 minutes ago, a compromise had been reached. You see the non-lethal weapons have been drawn.
We're moving, we're moving, we're moving. There are shots being fired. It looks like tear gas, tear gas. All right, there's smoke. We're moving.
Okay, Brett, our executive producer, Alicia back there, what I want to do
they're advancing. We need to go.
Let's let Jennifer get to safety. Let's let Jennifer get to safety. We have Jared Austin right now.
They're throwing tear gas all over the street.
Okay, Camry
We're moving.
We have Camry Silv. Camry Silv is near this area. Let's take Jennifer, get to safety. You can see it looks like Camry is just on the other side of the street. Camry, what has happened in the last 5 to 10 minutes?
We're on L8. We are by Centennial Mall.
Camry, you are live with us Lincoln right Mall. Now. What can you tell us?
Yeah. Hey guys, we are currently walking down Lincoln Mall right now. Police have dispersed tear gas. The crowd is now pushing down. As you can see right here, officers are walking down Lincoln Mall. We are following these protesters right now. As you can see, all of that smoke over there, that is tear gas that has been dispersed into the crowd. We are continuing to walk down Lincoln Mall. Tear gas has been dispersed. We're starting to choke on it right now. We are trying to keep you guys updated on this. As you can see, police are making their way down. Right now, it's getting hard to talk. It's getting hard to breathe.
Yep, Camry, let's let you catch your breath.
Right now.
Camry, let's let you catch your breath. We're going to go back to Jennifer Ortega if she can somehow describe what has happened in the last 15 minutes and how things have changed. What happened to the compromise, Jennifer?
We saw tear gas go off. People were being thrown to the ground. You could see the Sheriff's Department advancing. All the police officers. Yeah.
Don't forget the rubber pellets.
We're completely out of breath. They pushed all the way through Lincoln Mall, and they're just holding up that entire area.
Oh, okay, you know what? Let's stay on Jennifer's scene right now. If you're just joining us right now, we're going to update you on what's happened in the last 10 minutes. You know, we talked to both Jennifer and Jared. Jared, who's at the state capitol. Jennifer, who's looks to be on Lincoln Mall outside of the Hall of Justice. Apparently, a compromise had been reached between demonstrators and law enforcement as long as things remain peaceful. And somehow that compromise was breached. We don't know how yet. Jennifer is now trying to cross the street. Tear gas has been fired. Multiple arrests have been made. Canines are out. We've seen protesters
vantage point
firing something back at law enforcement. whether it's just water or just other materials. You can see this line of law enforcement. Jennifer, are you in a safe spot where you can describe what you're seeing?
Yes, yes. It looks like the police officers are just lined up. They got canines. They're not letting anyone pass from that area. It was just like an explosion of tear gas. It went everywhere. You couldn't even breathe. A lot of the protesters just like hitched it. Now, luckily we were able to get out of there pretty quickly, but from what we were seeing, people were being thrown to the ground. They were being arrested. You saw the organizer. She was leaned on one of the sheriff's cars and she was being taken in.
You know, Jennifer, I think this all started as law enforcement tried to move forward because we are in fact in a curfew, 50 minutes into a curfew right now. Is that not correct? But there was a compromise that was reached. Were demonstrators becoming more agitated?
You know, they really were. They were pushing forward. They were yelling in their faces, and the officer came out for like 30 minutes and he told them, please disperse. And they continued to stand there. They were on their knees. They continued to chant. Look at this. Some of the protesters still running out.
All right. I'm talking to my producer right now. Brett, let's let Camry and Jen catch their breath, get to some different vantage points, collect their thoughts. I've lived in Lincoln my whole life, and I've never seen anything like that. An indescribable moment for our community.
And they're just right up against where all the police are. The police are actually coming from two different spots. They're actually coming from 8th Street and 11th Street, so they got us kind of pinning people back. We have seen some tear gas being deployed here. People have been running back quite a bit. We've also seen some officers using those rubber bullets on people, and I would say in about 10 minutes here, we've seen at least 2 or 3 people arrested right now. So things started off pretty normal and calm earlier in the day, but things have gotten quite hectic here on the corner of 11th and 8th Street.
Jared, you mentioned things that...
Sorry, but what were we saying?
Jared, you mentioned things have escalated in the last few minutes.
We got people backing up. We got more gas. We got more gas coming, I think. People are backing up. They're running. I see some gas in the street at the corner of 11th
like
and 8th.
Tear gas in the background.
Get wide here. Get wide here. But yeah, we can see some gas in the street right now. We still see people standing there. We just saw someone. We just saw somebody throw a firework at officers. Officers are slowly approaching. They're at the intersection right now of 11th and 8th Street. And it looks like people are actually moving closer towards the police. People are moving closer towards the police officers right now, chanting, "No justice, no police, please don't shoot." But every time they obviously deploy the tear gas, everybody sprints back. But it seems like everybody just gradually moves forward as soon as this area clears out. Now, we did see a couple people having to get water in their eyes, trying to get the tear gas out because they have used it, I want to say 2 times since we've been here in the last 15 minutes. But just kind of looking at the scene right now, people are kind of standing still. I see some people with their fists in the air. It looks like police have kind of just cornered 11th and 8th Street, I should say. But it looks like everything seems to be at a moderate standstill. We've got some people moving back. We got people pleading with everybody to please move back. We got people pleading. We got people pleading to have them move back. And we're going to bring it to Jennifer here.
Hey, this is Jennifer Ortega. We're in the middle of the action right now. People continue to move back. I'm going to walk in this direction. Come here, Alice.
That's why they're blocking the way. The police are the ones that's aggressive.
Protesters are just continuing to walk. I want to take you to more of the middle so you can see. The police have started to advance all the way down 8th Street, and the protesters are not giving up. They continue to chant, and it seems like the police keep moving forward. They continue to disperse tear gas over and over again, and we can continue to smell it coming down 8th Street. It's a very, very high tension area right now. There are hundreds of people out here. You could just imagine the emotion that everyone's feeling, Bill.
Yeah, Jennifer, we're going to stick with that shot for a little bit. Just a couple questions for you. What has it been like this? You know, how long has it been like this?
We have been like this on this street for the last 20 minutes or so. It seems like the protesters, they moved from Lincoln Mall, they went to H Street and then continued to march down until they were stopped by police. Police came up H Street and now they're pushing people even further back. People continue to have their hands up and continue to chant. It's this ongoing battle that police say there is a curfew tonight and they want people to get home as soon as possible. It's past time. All right, you hear that crackling sound? We're gonna move a little bit further.
That appears to be fireworks in the background. Is that what it looked like to you, Jen? Fireworks?
Yes, it looks like, whoa! It looks like the protesters are throwing fireworks right now. More tear gas is being let off. They're continuing to push forward, but these protesters are still willing to stand in the way.
If you are just joining us, I want to remind everybody that we have checked with law enforcement. We do have permission to be covering the events that are going on tonight. The events that have to do with the curfew.
They're throwing tear gas.
That curfew now 2 hours and 4 minutes old. Technically, the demonstrators are committing a crime, but they believe their message, believe in their message strong enough that they want to stay out. Jennifer, you've talked to these people throughout the night. Are you in a safe spot?
I did.
First of all?
These people want to be heard. I am in the middle of the protest right now. I wouldn't 100% say I'm feeling safe right now as they continue to throw tear gas, but we are moving along with the hundreds of people that are being pushed away on H Street. You can see, Ellis, take a pan over. You could just see them with those shields and their helmets. They are launching just cans after can of tear gas into the crowd, and the crowd is still thick. Honestly, the crowd is still thick out here. Look at all these. Woo!
Those are fireworks, it sounds like, going off in the background. We're just going to we'll stay with the camera, but we'll let Jen try to get to safety, get ahead, get to a safer spot, because she's kind of in the middle of it all right now. Jennifer, as you're moving along, can you describe how things have changed since you first, got outside the Hall of Justice at 7:30 tonight?
Yes, like 2 hours ago, it was a peaceful protest. People were just chanting. They were on their hands and knees. The law enforcement wasn't. They were talking. There was a conversation between protesters and the law enforcement, and they came to an agreement. Now, when curfew started at 8 o'clock, they waited. They waited about a half hour, 45 minutes, and then they just decided, we're done. We're done. We're going to disperse the crowd, and they continued to tell them to go home peacefully, but that just wasn't the case. These protesters want to be out here. They are ignoring the curfew right now, put down by the mayor, by the governor. And
Jennifer, we have heard
those blue lights.
We have heard from the mayor, we have heard from the governor, we've heard from the police chief, left, right, no matter the political affiliation, that everybody is outraged by the murder of George Floyd. Everybody wants peaceful protests.
Come here.
Hands up! Don't shoot! Did I curse?
No. I'm asking some questions.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
I won't curse.
Okay. You've been running. I got a protester here, Bill.
Okay.
He's been running in the crowd with us. How are you feeling right now at this point?
Pretty angry. We showed them that we were peaceful. We stood our ground. They are the aggressors. They are throwing tear gas. I had to help a girl. She was struggling. She was on the street crying, screaming from the tear gas. They know they are the ones armed right now. We are not armed.
What about the curfew? They're telling you to go home.
The curfew is to silence us. We're not going to be silenced. We have been silenced for too long. There is no reason to have a curfew. No reason. They don't want to hear it, but we're going to be heard.
Do you think this is enough? Do you think enough people have gotten hurt tonight?
Hurt?
From all the pepper spray, from all
Yes, I think enough. No one has to get hurt. They just have to hear us, feel our pain, see us, and make a change. That's all they have to do.
They refuse to want to change. They refuse to even be peaceful throughout this thing. What I've seen is nothing but peaceful protesters except for the police. They're the ones that are shooting at us and shooting their tear gas and rubber bullets for no reason. We are the ones being peaceful. We want change and we will fight for change.
They say there's a curfew in place.
That we're still gonna fight. There's no reason to start giving up. We need to fight for our peace. We need justice. Not just white folk need their justice. Minorities need justice. Black people need justice. Black lives matter and no lives will matter until all black lives matter.
All right, we got a question right here.
Okay, so I have one question for you. In your opinion, being a protester out here all night, when is enough enough?
It's never enough. Nothing is changing. Nothing, as you guys can see, they're all standing there lined against us. No, not changing. There's nothing they want peaceful about this. They're not making it peaceful. They're making it basically against us.
And do you guys plan on going home at all tonight?
As long as I don't get arrested, I'm still going to be out here and I will still fight for what's right.
Guys, we are walking down right now as police are moving forward with us. There are protesters behind us right now, but we are continuing to keep you guys updated on what's going on. They continue to throw tear gas. You hear the crowd just automatically yell tear gas, and everyone just goes ahead and runs and disperses in the same direction. It's still crazy. I know, Jennifer, I'll give it back to you. Just describe to everybody what exactly is going on right now.
You know, we've been walking now for hours as they push us back further and further. They're really, really close. The lights are just glaring, and the lights are just glaring in our direction. They got a tanker, and the shields continue to push forward.
All right, Jennifer, I'll talk through this just a little bit. It appears our live shot has frozen. What you've been witnessing there is police gradually moving forward, demonstrators moving backwards, the occasional exchange of fireworks and tear gas. We saw video earlier of people being arrested. Jennifer is back here. One thing I want to, of course, remind people about is that these protesters are...
Oh, they're coming to me.
These protesters are breaking the law right now. They have a message that they believe in strong enough that they want heard, and the curfew does not matter to them. But there's a curfew in place.
That is
a curfew
yes.
by the mayor, by our police chief, who seem to support their cause. Jennifer, one thing as you guys, sprint away from the scene to safety.
Sorry.
No, please get to safety.
Protesters are...
Where do you think
protesters are throwing fireworks?
Where do you think the disconnect is? Because we've heard our city leaders say they support peaceful protests. They are also outraged by the killing of George Floyd. They want change. Our city leaders, even our governor said that earlier today. Where is the disconnect, do you believe?
I just feel like they don't want to be told what to do, and they don't want to go home. This curfew, they're not taking it seriously, and they're not even getting to safety at this point. They're willing to risk their lives to say what they feel is the right thing to be heard. And it's just a very dangerous situation at this point.
Right now, it is 10:12. I know some of you are probably curious about weather. What I want to do is give our reporters and our crews a chance to get to safety. So right now we are going to check in. This is our video from earlier. Let's take this full screen. We'll take this full screen and we'll listen in just a little bit. This is about 8:45 tonight. Protesters got within inches of law enforcement, and then law enforcement slowly started to push forward, and that's when people started getting arrested, and this is when things changed. You can see somebody on the ground right there. You can see law enforcement starting to draw their non-lethal weapons. You can see objects being tossed toward law enforcement. A dramatic scene outside the Hall of Justice. What we're going to do, that was the organizer of that original protest who was getting arrested, excuse me. Yeah, this is about 8:45 outside the Hall of Justice. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more.